My name is Annie Day. I am the director of the Avakian Institute. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Matthew Shipp and William Parker for gracing us with their beautiful music, taking us to worlds beyond. So a couple months ago, William called me to ask a question that I think millions of people are up against. How do I maintain a sense of hope? As we watch a live stream genocide through our phones, as we watch our neighbors kidnapped, a fascist madman with his finger on the nuclear trigger, as we watch our planet burning, our sisters and brothers in India dying of heat, people need to know where to find their hope. People are choking on their rage and despair, and they don't know that we do not have to live this way. The revolution in human thought that's been developed by Avakian, the new communism, which is a whole new framework for human emancipation, this is where people can find hope on a scientific foundation, not okey doke, believe me, hype hope, but actually scientifically grounded, materially grounded hope that humanity can live a whole different way. As Avakian said in what we heard, thousands of years of the development of human history has brought us to the point where human society can be organized on a different foundation to put an end to oppression and exploitation. And that will not be easy. It will be full of sacrifice, it will be full of struggle, and there are no guarantees. But it is possible. So fighting for engagement, actual debate and discussion of Avakian's work, raising people's sights to really grapple with how a different way human society can be organized and opening up their minds to think outside of this system, outside of the confines of this soul-crushing, planet-destroying, people-devouring system. This is the mission of the Avakian Institute. And it's one that you are needed to play a role in. So Avakian has written, as we heard him say at the beginning, he's written a constitution for the new socialist republic in North America. He has a path-breaking body of work that ranges from questions of science and religion, jurisprudence, morality, art and culture, sports, revolutionary strategy, summing up the first stage of communist revolution, the whole rise of American fascism, which he's been sounding the alarm about way ahead of the curve for 30 years. This and much more is what's found in his body of work. But throughout society, these questions are considered off limits. Capitalism is treated as permanent. The stifling lid sits on people's hopes and dreams, suffocating their aspirations. People can be more readily imagine the end of our species than they can imagine the end of capitalism. And because Avakian refuses to accept this permanence, because he refuses to accept that this is how the world has to be, because he calls for more than small reforms within this system of capitalism, imperialism, because of all of this, he is slandered, he is defamed, and he is encircled. And here are the stakes. As we face the actual danger of human extinction, as we face the consolidation of fascism, if the new communism is stifled, if the revolutionary possibility of fundamental change is foreclosed in reality and in people's minds, then even despite people's aspirations, despite their heroic struggles, they will find themselves forced to accommodate and to be complicit with horrors. Now, on the positive tip, because that does not have to go down that way, on the positive tip, debating and discussing what we just heard, from different frameworks, discussing, thinking about, imagining a revolutionary society, the new communism, the broader body of work that Avakian has developed, his ongoing leadership and analysis, this could have a profound benefit to society here and all over the world. It's what people heroically rising up in Iran need to know about. It's what people up against a fascist regime in Argentina need to know about. It's what people putting their lives on the line in the streets of Minneapolis need to know about. In the halls of academia, where people are stifled and suffocated, people need to know about this. What everyone asking William's question needs to know, where can we find our hope? in a scientifically grounded understanding in this quote that we began the night with from Avakian, from his New Year's message. In that message, Avakian says, we are now at the point where it's more and more urgently necessary to move beyond this whole monstrous system, beyond a situation where people are forced to struggle just for individual survival, with everyone compelled to be in competition and conflict with others, and the masses of people everywhere are chained down by outmoded, oppressive relations, while the future and the very existence of humanity is increasingly endangered. And it is possible to move beyond all this. A whole different way of living is possible. This is what people need to know. They need to debate from different viewpoints and perspectives. These are the questions we have to put ourselves to. Now, having this very widespread impact requires funds. Funds to break through what is verboten, to print materials, to put on events like this and more. And you can make a tax-deductible donation. You can volunteer your time, your ideas, your skills. We want to host forums and debates. We want to know your ideas on who would be willing to actually debate these questions. And I have to be frank that a lot of people aren't even willing to debate it, because then they actually have to put some skin in the game. They have to expose and get into whether or not what they're fighting for actually is about maintaining and reinforcing this system or breaking humanity out of it. So we want your ideas and your participation in reaching out to others. We want events here, online, and at Revolution Books. We want to host classes with the Bob Avakian Institute in the New Communism. But funds are needed to reach people up against the danger of extreme fascist repression, to break through the widespread snark and the world-weary cynicism. Funds are needed to shake people awake, and so is your participation. Thank you all for being here with your dreams and aspirations. Yes, in dark times, but in dark times that we have to be determined to get beyond, for people here and for people all over the world, to bring a different world into being where our dreams in dark times become dreams in reality. So thank you.